Oh shit, I walked into it. Nice. Boom! Easy game, dude! Hey folks, the clip you just saw is from day 3 of this character. I just got back from vacation, so playing a little bit of catch up, and managed to put together this character in just 3 days. Build is just that good. It feels great, probably even better than I expected going into the season. I do have a few updates on the build. Some things have changed, some bugs have been fixed, as well as a new filter and a little bit of gearing change that I've gone through, as well as some thoughts I have from actually leveling the character. So, as I said, this is day 3 character. So far, I've pushed to level 98 with the build. I've done Uberoth. I've done almost all of the Woven Echoes, including the Brink with all the Harbingers. Yeah, I'm going to push up to 1,000 corruption after this. What else? I have most of my blessings, still missing a little bit here. And I actually forgot to do campaign before I did Uberoth. Oh well, I guess I didn't need the +2 all attribute. Not a big deal. So yeah, the first thing is the updates. So there's been a few bug fixes to the build since I made the initial video guide. Everything else is still relevant, but first one is Jagged Veil. Previously, this wasn't giving you any extra damage. They fixed that. Now the more damage is working, so we get huge boosts of damage to the build. Some people are saying that this is actually still bugged, and it's instead of giving no damage, it's actually giving too much damage. I haven't verified this myself, but that is what some people are saying, so it's possible that this is giving too much damage. Another thing that has been fixed is the Spark Nova in the Lightning Blast tree. So previously, this was not getting the Spark Charge chance on hit. So with that fix, we end up getting, I forget what the math is for more damage, but it's actually pretty significant damage buff from that, like pretty huge, because we're getting it's something like from 50% spark charge per lightning blast hit to somewhere around like 80-ish. So you can do the math, but it's a pretty big DPS increase there. Another bug that seems to have surfaced is the lightning blast champion affix on the belt. So it seems like this affix is not being affected by convergence, the half maximum chains downside of this node. What that means is that instead of applying 2 extra chains, it's actually applying 4. That means normally you have a base of 5 hits, somewhere in there, 5 hits. And with this, instead of going to 7, you're going to 9. So that's 80% more damage, basically, 70% of the time, which is a huge increase of damage. It still ends up being a little bit less than Legends Entwined in most cases. But that does mean that, given the bug, if you do want to play with that, this is actually a viable alternative. If you use this belt, you could use double red ring, and I've added a variant for that to my planner. So if you want to play around with that, you can use T8 belt with double red ring, whatever other helmet you want, because you don't have the Latria, and that does seem like a pretty good setup. The belt affix also seems like it'd be really good for Lightning Blast Auto Bomber if you do want to play Auto Bomber, because before we didn't have any of the extra chains from indirect. This does apply to the indirect, so you end up with significantly more hits for Auto Bomber build. Really cool stuff. The next update is I was previously using Nihilus in the planner. I found that the evade downside of Nihilus was actually extremely annoying, especially before you get move speed on your boots. This is the gear that I killed Uberoth with, so it's not like insane, pretty good gear, but it could be better. So these boots don't have any move speed slam, and with such low move speed and with Nihilus, I have to evade a lot, which means I kept destroying my health and ward. Evolution's End doesn't have that downside. Some people are complaining about the summon beast minion thing. I didn't actually find it annoying at all. It didn't bother me. So personally, I prefer this amulet. If you get a really good Nihilus with like a low downside on it, or you get a bunch of move speed with something like this, then you can consider using Nihilus again. Other than that, everything else is pretty much the same. I was still using the set ring. I think this is extremely underrated. Gives a crazy amount of int, armor, ward decay, resist. Just using it as a set item is good until you get a very strong exalted item. This is completely fine to use. I've been using this since like early on day one, and it's still good. I do want to replace it, but for now it's fine. Otherwise, we'll talk quickly on the gear that we have so far. So we have the helmet. This is surprisingly important. I mean, I guess not surprising, but it is extremely important. +4 Lightning Blast gives you access to Spark Nova, which basically doubles your damage. I was neglecting this, trying to go for a double T7, and as soon as I got this, and then got my Spark Nova nodes, my damage just skyrocketed. Like, it was completely night and day difference. You apply Spark Charges way more consistently, which makes your clear feel better. Prioritize this. If you're playing the build, get this as early as you can. Don't worry about any other stats. Just get your Lightning Blast and your Velatria Slam. And then from there, it doesn't really matter what you do. Everything else is just good stuff on top of that. The next thing is we had the Ladle. So I did go for a slam on the spell crit. I did also manage to hit multi, which is great. But the reason why I was doing that is because my spell crit was very low with just multi slams. If you're only slamming multi, you just have T1s. Your spell crit is going to be quite low, probably around 60-ish. So if you can get at least one spell crit chance early on until you get more spell crit, it will actually give you more damage than multi because you already have quite a bit. So the spell crit is pretty good. On Sable Core, this is pretty hard to get a good one because the roll ranges are large, but so far I got an Int Slam on this. Nice. Enigma. As I said in the guide, you definitely want to prioritize 12% Spark Charge chance, which I did here. This is a good imprint candidate because the roll ranges are affected by the imprint. So if you get a really good roll, imprint it, and you're more likely to get more good rolls rather than just trying to get it with like natural drops or prophecies or whatever. Just imprint this. Makes your life much easier. Next thing is the ring. Definitely prioritize this. Go farm your beasts as much as you can. You want to get this as early as you can. It's extremely strong. Yeah, try and get your slam if you can. Try and throw as much of them into the egg as possible and all that stuff. Get your int slam. This is really good. In the belt, this is quite strong, but I did use the champion affix for quite a while until basically right before Uber I slammed this and just went full damage. I don't think full damage is always optimal. You want some amount of defense, but this so far has been fine. The belt is really easy to farm. Just get this early, get 20 in, it makes a big difference. Then I said, as the ring, it's still really good. Easy to get a good roll on this. It's pretty common. Then the gloves, most important things, 4% spell crit. Every other stat doesn't really matter. You really need the spell crit. And the boots, Typhoon is just what I got a good roll first. So this is what I used. If you get Blood of the Exile, or if you like Foot of the Mountain, you can use that. The problem with Foot of the Mountain is if you don't also have a move speed slam, you basically don't move at all. It doesn't have any move speed on it. So I don't really like Foot of the Mountain without any T7 move speed. So Typhoons, Another option is Blood of the Exile. I was using this for a bit. This is pretty good too. And then finally, Twisted Heart. Just get this as soon as you can. Try and get an 8% conversion roll on this if you can. That's probably the most important. And otherwise, idols, I'm still struggling here. I haven't run any idol prophecies. I haven't really done much, what do you call it, reweavings or whatever to get more. So if you're COF, you can get a lot of good idols from prophecies, from running the cemeteries, tomes, and all that stuff. So definitely do that. I need to work on that. We'll get there. And yeah, that's where the build is at. So next step, just pushing to 1,000 corruption, filling out some of my final 2 levels here, hopefully finishing campaign, because I still haven't done that. It actually looks like it's bugged. All right, so here we are back at the planner. So I've added a little bit here. A lot of people have been asking for a loot filter, so I did put one together. I don't think I can actually add my own in max roll, so I just have a Classy Block Tools loot filter. So if you want to use that, check it out. Enable or disable rules as you need. I have it on fairly strict right now, so you might want to put some rules back in. The YouTube guide I made is still relevant. Pretty much everything there is still true, other than some notes here about the bugs. So here's some notes on that. Put some information on some alternative gear pieces if you want, so check out the notes in here. I also added a new variant for the belt. If you want to build that, you can do this. Yeah, that's pretty much it for updates. And follow on Twitch. I'll be playing this build some more, starting to work on my double T7s, try and min-max, maybe build an auto bomber or something like that. Have fun with that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, I will catch you in the next one. Peace.